You are most welcome. It's once again our science lesson. The last time we were here, we were talking about refraction of light, bending of light as passes through transparent media of different densities. Okay? Today, I just briefly want to take you through some devices, some materials that refract that light, okay? That refract that light as it passes through them, okay? These devices we are going to look at, basically, we shall call them optical devices, okay? Optical devices, meaning devices that can only do their work when there is the presence of light. And out of that, basically, I want us to talk about lenses. I want us to talk about lenses, and can we try to now look at what a lens means, okay? Yeah, so that's the point where I want us to come and see what a lens means. When we talk about a lens, okay, check there. I want you to check some spelling first, okay? When there are many, check there up. When there are many, they are lenses, okay? You add just ES. If it is one, you stop at this S. It's check here, lens. If it is one, lens. When there are many, you add ES, lenses, okay? So we're talking about a lens. We're saying these are transparent optical devices. When I talk about optical device, I mean a device or an object, okay, a material or a tool that can only do its work when there is the presence of light. So we call them optical what? Devices, okay? So we are saying it is a transparent optical device that refracts light passing through it. These lenses can be made of a plastic or they can be made of a glass, okay? We basically have two types of lenses, okay? These two types of lenses, we are going to get their names from, I want you to flash back when we looked about the types of beams of light. Do you remember? Can somebody tell me the three types of beams of light that we looked at? Correct. We had a parallel beam of light. Then we have converging beam of light. We also had diverging beam of light. Remember that? But out of that, we are just going to remove the word parallel beam of light, and we're also going to remove the word beam. We remove the parallel beams, then the word beam in general, we remove them away. Now let's talk about only the other two, and we connect it to our types of lenses. The other two, converging and diverging, okay? Remember what diverging beams of light are? Then converging beams of light are? Do you still recall? Light rays that come from different directions and meet at the same point. How did we call them? They were converging beams of light. Then those that come from a common point and go in different direction, we were calling them diverging what? Beams of what? Light. Now, there are lenses that make light rays to behave like that. They either make them converge to meet at one common point or to move from a common point to different directions. Now, our lenses we're talking about here, they are going to take up that name according to the way they affect light rays, okay? If it diverges light rays, we can call it a diverging lens. If the lens converges light rays, it makes light rays to meet at one common point, we shall call it converging lens. Are we together? So let's say now the two types of lenses are converging lens because they make light rays coming from different directions to meet at one common point. We call them converging lens. Can we say converging lens? Okay, another name for converging lens, we can call them convex lens. Are we together? Why do I always bring converging lens to you first? Because we had it at first. Remember? We had it at first. Now, I do not need to mix it up. You would think that something convex lens is now a new thing, okay? Because this name just comes from the way it behaves towards light. Okay, when the light passes through it, what does it do? It makes it meet at one common point, okay? So we call it converging lens. The other one makes the light rays to diverge, to move in different directions. Let's call it diverging lens. So when they ask two types of lenses, say converging lens or convex lens. Or you can say the next one is diverging lens or concave lens. Okay? For those who will in the future prefer using the word convex lens, remember there is also concave lens. Okay? I hope you not confuse them. And what can make you recall these things, their names very fast, is just the types of the light, the beams of light we looked at first. That's why converging and diverging becomes so easy for us than convex lens, concave lens. But at the same time, it's advisable you must know both names, okay? Like John Peter, okay, such. So this is convex lens or converging lens. Another one is concave lens or diverging lens. For today, basically I want us to look at a convex lens, okay? The one that makes light rays to converge, to meet at one common point, okay? So this lens has got the following behaviors, which we call, sometimes we can call it characteristics, okay? When you look at it, this is what you'll be able to see, okay? It is curved outwards, okay? You know how a curve looks like when you're making a curve. Then a convex lens, we are saying at the same time, when you look at the middle point, check that middle point. You see, this is the curve we are talking about, curving outwards here. You see this curve, this curve, this curve. Even when you check this side, are you checking that curve there? Yeah? It is curving itself outward. You see there? You see there? You see there? That is the curve we are talking about. It is curved outward. Then check the middle part shaded. This part is thicker. It is thicker in the middle here. The center is thicker. Then these parts, the edges here, these are the edges here. These edges, they are thinner. Are we together? So that is basically about how a convex lens looks like. So whenever you see this drawn somewhere, you must just know it's a convex what? Lens. And whenever somebody has this, maybe you want to identify what it is. Basically, this is a convex what? Lens. Now, check here. Let us say that now we are allowing light rays to pass through it. Check those light rays there. We are now allowing light rays to pass through it. We want to see how it will affect the light rays. Now, once these light rays, check here. I want you to look at this lens from that top part. Draw dotted lines, okay? Here, 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 up to here, okay? That's where these light rays will begin bending at that point. At the center of this lens here, the light rays begin bending from there, okay? Then, all the rays of light you see traveling here, they must meet. It converges them. It makes them to meet at one common point. That's why I said we call it converging what? Lens, because it converges. It makes light rays to meet at one common point. Okay? So it is this is its effect. Yeah? This is how it affects light. If I asked you right now, how does a convex lens affect light? It makes light to converge, or it makes light rays to converge. You can see it here, okay? These rays, I can see parallel rays of light coming here, and they're entering through, they're passing through. And once they merge out here, they are bending, all of them are bending, and they're meeting here. So this is the effect this lens has on light. It makes light rays to converge and meet at one point. Converge means meeting at one point. Okay, so if it was to form an image, you see this point where we've written the word focus here, the last point where these light rays have met here. Okay, this is where the image will be formed. This one here, this is the point of focus, or the focal point where image is formed here. Okay, so that's where the light rays have met. So this is its effect on light. Now we want to look at those devices. They are machines that use convex lenses. These machines, many of you must be having them at home. Remember, some of your parents, relatives are doctors. They have them. Some of your relatives and maybe parents, they work in forces. They are tourists. They carry them. Look at a camera here. Look at a camera. Look at a camera. Most of you have cameras. These cameras, they use convex lenses. Specs. You know spectacles? Those eyeglasses for people who have eye problems. Spectacles. I am beginning with the things we have commonly at home. Okay? Spectacles. Check that. There are some relatives, some parents, some children, unfortunately, they have developed those eye problems that can only be corrected by them wearing or putting on these spectacles. They have convex lenses. Some of them have convex lenses to correct that eye mistake that they have. You know, some of us cannot see objects which are very far clearly, so we need to use specs. Or some of us do not see objects which are very near clearly. So to correct that mistake, we use lenses. Okay, we shall know which lens corrects which problem of the eye that you have. But this spectacle, basically, it is that eyeglass you put on to correct a certain eye problem that you have. Okay, so it can use also a convex lens. There are people who have binoculars, tourists. Maybe you have gone to a beach. You want to see people who are riding boats deep in the water there. You want to bring them closer so that you can see them clearly. Use binoculars. Or maybe you are standing at a distance. You want to see your friend who is a bit far. Who is a bit like maybe 500 meters. You want to see him clearly. You can use a binocular. Okay. Then we have a magnifying glass. Okay. Some of your parents, as I have said, or relatives, even yourself out there, some of these children have learned these things early, okay? Which is good news. You want to repair a watch, you want to repair a computer, you want to repair maybe somebody's phone, but some parts of that phone are too tiny that your eye cannot see, your naked eye cannot see clearly. Okay? Those tiny parts. You use this magnifying glass, okay, so that it can make those parts be seen clearly as you repair somebody's device. Okay, it can also use a convex lens, a magnifying glass. Okay, then we have telescopes. These ones we use them to see mostly objects which are in space. You want to see a star, you want to clearly see how the moon looks like, you want to see different planets in the space up there. Okay, you use telescopes. Now, right now, I'm having this lesson with you. What am I using? What am I displaying these things on? What am I using here? I'm using a projector. Remember what we normally do when we go for assemblies? When we want all of you to read something clearly. You know, we have a big number. We cannot give you that screen for TV to watch whatever we wanted you to see as a school. Okay? What we normally do, we use a projector. Right now, you see what we're doing here? It's a projector, the work. We want a smaller work to look bigger so that we can all see it clearly. Okay? So that projector you see us using always, it has a convex lens. Then a microscope. A microscope. We have a microscope. A microscope also uses a convex lens. I remember telling you that some of your parents or relatives are health workers. Or even if they are not health workers, they work in school laboratories, okay? Where laboratories are where we keep school equipment for carrying out experiments, studies and so on. So there are microscopes in there, okay? For studying tiny objects, like there is a tiny insect your eye cannot see easily, especially like you have a germ maybe, bacteria, you want to see how bacteria looks like, how virus looks like. We need a microscope, okay? So a microscope also has a convex lens. Let us see the uses of convex lens. Now, if you have been critical enough, we have just looked at these devices that use convex lenses. Now, when somebody asks the uses of convex lenses, you can just focus on this. Put your mind on these devices. What do we use them for? You bring it towards here. Let's begin with the specs. I want to begin with something you always say at home or with the people you meet on your way. spectacles, those who are wearing those eyeglasses. So we can say convex lenses are used in spectacles, to correct which eye problem do we correct using spectacles that are having convex lenses. These are basically used to correct eye problems where somebody can only see objects which are very far clearly, but cannot see those that are very close to him clearly. We say that person has long eyesight, or he has long-sightedness. He can only see objects which are very far clearly, but not those that are too close to him. Now, we use convex lens to correct this eye problem. So, we get for him an eyeglass and we fix there the convex lens. Now, when the person looks through or sees through that eyeglass which has a convex lens, now he will be able to see objects which are far and near clearly. Okay, so we use it to correct long-sightedness in spectacles. Can you try to frame an answer using these words? Microscopes, projectors, telescopes, magnifying glasses, binoculars. Can you try to frame an answer using the use of convex lens? I want you to apply this. Okay, like for me, I've used already spectacles. Convex lenses are using spectacles to correct long-sightedness. Use here. What about here? Pick any device here and tell us the use of convex lenses, just like the way I've done it. I can pick cameras. Are we together? I can pick cameras. I will say its use, or convex lenses are used in cameras to help form images on there. Where do images form themselves in a camera? It is a film or a memory card. You get that? Pick another device there. Yes, we can use them in these projectors. They are common. We use projectors commonly at home or at school whenever we're here. Remember? Yes, we use them in projectors to produce bigger images, like the way we are here right now. Okay? We use them in projectors to produce bigger images that can clearly be seen by everybody, by a bigger group. Are we together? What about in microscopes? We also use them in microscopes so that the microscope can help you be able to see very tiny objects like germs. Are we together? What about binoculars? You know these binoculars? We use them to see objects which are far from us and they are not clearly seen. Okay? So that we can clearly see them. So that is how you can pick an object here and you say a convex lens is used in this to do this. Like I can say it is used in a magnifying glass to make smaller objects appear bigger. You see that? Yeah, just simple that. You don't need to think much. Are we together? So whenever they ask for uses of convex lenses, that's how we frame them. And all this I'm trying to bring down here is what we have already discussed. Okay? Uses of convex. Just know devices that use them. So when it comes to the use of the convex lenses, you don't need to suffer. So long as you know those devices that use convex lenses, it is easier for you now to get how convex lenses are used. Are we together? Yes. Now, let's go to a magnifying glass. Are we together? That is a device. Okay, that is a device. A magnifying glass is simply a device that makes smaller objects appear bigger, and the images they form, they appear behind the lens. So they are virtual. Remember, do you still recall the virtual images you learned when you were looking at a plane mirror? Yes, even the images formed by a magnifying glass, they are virtual. They appear behind it. Okay, they appear behind it. If you have one magnifying glass at home there, look through it and see where your images would appear. They will be behind. Okay, they will be behind that glass. Okay, yeah. So the images appear behind. So it is a lens. It is a lens, or it is a glass which is made up, which has a magnifying lens. Sorry, yeah, a lens. Yes, it's it has a convex lens. Okay, that makes images appear bigger or smaller objects. Okay, they appear upright. Okay, and they are virtual. Are we together? Now, this is how our magnifying glass looks like. Are we together? This is how it looks like. We want to see how, if we use it, we want to see how things shall appear. There are things I told you that when we look through it, the images appear behind. They are virtual, they appear behind it. All right, there we are. So that's where our magnifying glass is. I'm trying to put it to show you those words, how those letters appear bigger. Are you seeing there? You can see how big those letters of the words can appear. You see it there? Yeah, making them very clear and bigger. Okay? So that is the characteristic of that magnifying glass. It makes smaller things appear bigger than what they are actually. Okay? Now you can see we are seeing through it. Where are the words appearing? They are appearing behind it. Okay? That's why we are saying the images are virtual, appearing behind it. Okay? But the images, they are upright. They appear as they are. It does not turn them upside down. They remain upright. So therefore, if they ask you for characteristics of images formed by our magnifying glass, which are those three words I've used? The image is bigger than the real object. 2, the image appears behind the magnifying glass. It means the image is virtual. Then number 3, the image is upright. So there are 3 words here: bigger, virtual, upright. Can we repeat that? Bigger, virtual, upright. So those words give us the characteristics of a magnifying glass. Yeah, now we are back here on the diagram of our magnifying glass. Remember, we are now looking at their characteristics as we carefully look at it using the real object here. So now, these are the characteristics we talked about. Okay, do you remember them? I said there are 3 words you use: bigger, upright, virtual. Do you remember them? Yes, they are all here. The image is bigger than the object. The image is upright. The image is virtual. Just get those 3 words: bigger, upright, and virtual. You form sentences out of it, and it makes characteristics of images formed by a magnifying glass. Now, briefly, we want to look at uses of magnifying glasses. Okay, what do we use them for? A magnifying glass. Already here, we have been doing the work here. Okay, as we were showing you. We use it to make smaller objects appear bigger. That is it. There are things we cannot easily see. They are smaller and we want to see them clearly. So we use the magnifying glass. Okay? We make them to, you see there, smaller objects to appear what? Bigger. Then, remember, police have been suffering with the people. People have been burning people's property and so on. They say, hey, they always say, could it be it was electricity? Could it be maybe some battery exploded in the room when they were charging? Could it be? No, sometimes some of these things, when people are moving with them, they are not checked that these things are dangerous. Okay? Now, this magnifying glass, at home there you can gather papers. You gather papers, then let light ray from the sun pass through it. Keep adjusting until you see that the light rays are concentrated on the papers. Leave it there for some time. You will see the papers burning. Okay? We can use it to produce fire. Because we are tourists. We can't go with the matchbox. When the rain comes, the matchbox becomes wet. And in the bush there, we want to set fire. What do we use? We use our magnifying glass to produce a fire. Okay? Using the sunlight. You get there? So basically, children, that is what we wanted to know about lenses and basically the convex lens. Thank you. You are going to see the exercise there and download. Please do the work. Thank you very much.